Suns in the first round. That is going to be a great one. It's a matchup of two of the most decorated active point guards who have not won a title. Between the two, they have made 21 All-Star games, 20 All-NBA teams, and both made the NBA 75th anniversary team. Two storied careers, that's for sure. But Shannon, who do you think has had the better career? CP3 or Russ?
Before I answer that, Skip, I'm looking at this. I personally don't think either guy would trade their career for the other guy's career.
Okay.
Despite being drafted fourth, both players was drafted fourth overall.
Yep.
Russ I don't think was really expected to become what he became. If you look at Russ in college, there's no way you could possibly project he would be this. I think Chris Paul had a higher expectation.
No doubt.
If you watch him at Wake,
yep,
you're like, okay, this guy game really translate. He's a Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
He's a John Stockton. He's an old school point guard. Yeah. He's not a score first guard.
Right.
He's not a two masquerading.
Yeah.
He's a point guard.
Yeah.
And Skip, it's not, neither guy has won a championship. Both have gone to the NBA Finals, have fallen short.
Yes.
And it's a team sport. 12 All-Star games for CP3, 9 for Russ, 11 All-NBA, 4 first teams for CP3, 9 All-NBA, 2 first teams for
obviously point out that Chris has played 18 years to Russ's 15.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
The likelihood of Russ catching him is not very good.
Yeah.
Chris Paul is a 5-time assist champ, 6-time steal champ. He was all rookie of the year, 9-time all defensive, which is very impressive. Skip, because I believe Russ overachieved in his career, and Chris Paul's nickname is what? The point guard. Mm-hmm. I expect if you got the name the point guard, you got to deliver me something. So this was hard, Skip. I went back and forth. I think it's Russ. I think it's Russ. Because when I look at it, I thought Chris Paul would be a great player in the NBA. I thought he would lead the league in assists, and I thought he would have delivered a chance. He would have had one had David Stern rest his soul, not veto that trade. Put Chris Paul with Pau Gasol in the pick and roll and Kobe, and they're going to get a couple of championships, and this would be it would be a done deal by now, so it would be easy. But, Skip, I went Russ for the simple fact, Skip, when I watched him in college and I see what he became, and I think he's had a little better career.
Okay. I do appreciate everything you just said, but I disagree with your conclusion narrowly because I have lost some sleep over this back and forth. And I have to credit my man Nelly for inspiring this because he was going at me via text about this because he's a big, he loves Chris, knows him and all that. But the point is, Nelly is in awe of Russ's career. I think LeBron James was in awe of Russ's career, which is why he campaigned to go get him. I think AD was in awe. I think more players are in awe of Russ's career than they are of Chris's career, even though Chris is highly respected and beloved. But Russ clearly is more spectacular than Chris ever thought about being because just watching Russ is more fun than watching Chris. Yeah. He's just too efficient for his own good. He's almost like too good for his own good because it's not spectacular. He doesn't go between the legs, behind the back. Yeah. He doesn't have Kyrie handles. He doesn't. He's not as spectacular a passer as LeBron is. No. LeBron will throw 2 or 3 passes a night where I say, God, you know, like that's just gift, man. That's just that's generational passing ability that I don't see from Chris, except Chris can orchestrate at the highest level. He can be a maestro, but it's a subtle maestro. Right. So in the end, I step back and I believe that Chris has had the better all-around basketball career because I believe he's an all-around better basketball player than Russell Westbrook. Yeah. To your point, 9 times all defense. To your point, 6 times he led this league in steals. That's hard to do. Yeah. Okay. Russ plays little to no defense, so that end of the floor is
no, it's not even close.
It's
on the
a
defense
washout, right?
Not even close.
Okay, so it's not even close. What I can't take away from Russ is he won an MVP. That's hard to do. He won it. 4 out of 5 years, he averaged a triple-double. I thought that was I thought I'd never see 1 year of anybody averaging a triple-double since the year that Oscar did it back in 1963 when they had way more possessions. Okay?
No,
so,
yeah,
right?
go ahead. I'm just adding something
right.
in my head.
Okay. So, in the end, 9 all-defense and 6 time steals overcome for me. They give edge to Chris. And then this is edge to Chris. His whole career, he's averaged only 2.4 turnovers per game. Yeah. Most people don't care about that, but I do.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many times over the previous 2 seasons I came out here and we did a Russell Westbrook Memorial turnover blooper reel where I showed you his 6 or 7 turnovers in that game, 8 or 9 turnovers, that you said, "What are you doing, Russ?" And we both agreed he has the worst pair of hands of any point guard I have ever seen. So Russ has averaged 4.1 turnovers per game. 2.4 for Chris to 4.1. Mm-hmm. Trust me, that's a chasm of turnovers. That's a huge difference in turnovers. So Russ has made it harder and harder on his team to overcome his turnovers. Mm-hmm. Well, Russ is a terrible three-point shooter. Yeah. He's turned into a terrible free throw shooter.
He's 30%.
Okay, and Chris is a much more trustable shooter and in the end scorer than Russ is to me. Mm-hmm. So then I think of playoff moments. What do I remember from Russ? Well, I remember Game 1 of that 2012 Finals against LeBron and Dwayne Wade. He had a nice game. He had 27, 8, and 11. I also remember Magic at halftime of Game 2, the one in Oklahoma City that they lost when LeBron and company took over the series. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Remember Magic said at halftime, that was the worst half of basketball I've ever seen a point guard play in a finals game. Right. Well, you're right, because he's highly capable of just going completely haywire, right? Yeah. Okay, so it was a nice game, but then the only other one I can remember is that Game 6 closeout game at Utah when Paul George was a teammate and disappeared in that game, and Russ went crazy.
44?
He had 46, 10, and 5. And
Paul had 5.
Paul had 5 points.
Yeah,
so 2 of 16 shooting, 0 of 6 from 3, and 6 turnovers.
Yeah,
he had 5 points and 6 turnovers. But my point is, Russ had a spectacular game, actually slightly outplaying Donovan Mitchell, who had 38 on his own, but the Thunder lost, and they got closed out. Mm-hmm. So that's all I got for Russ in like playoff memorable moments. Right. But when I think about Chris, people forget this, but I'm going to go all the way back to 2008 when he was a Pelican. He had my Spurs down 3-2 with the Game 7 coming up shortly. It was at New Orleans that my Spurs had to win, and Chris Paul, trust me on this, because I got good Spurs sources, they were scared to death of him as a pit bull of a scorer. Mm-hmm. This is back in his younger day, when at 6 feet tall, they couldn't stop him. He averaged for the series 24, 4, and 11 assists. Well, the games were all like 90 to 85. So he's scoring 24 points. They couldn't stop him. Right. But that was a different, iteration of it.
He's not a scorer. He don't look the score now like he did then. Okay. They were the Hornets back then, Skip.
Yeah, the Hornets. I'm sorry. We call them the Pelicans now. But the point is, then we go up to, 2015. It was the Game 7 game. Do you remember the game against my Spurs? Mm-hmm. Clippers, it was Staples.
Yeah, he had that.
Chris came in. I thought his hamstring was so pulled he couldn't come back, and he came in and made a runner up high off the glass over Tim Duncan's outstretched arm to win the game by 2. And it was a heck of a shot. And then remember the closeout game here 2 years ago? Yeah. Or it's now 3 years ago, actually.
The Clippers.
Against the Clippers. Suns Clippers. Mm-hmm. Remember what he did? If you take the last 90 seconds of the third quarter and all the fourth quarter, he scored 27 points in that time frame, 41 for the game. He could not miss.
No, he couldn't miss.
Okay, so he's capable of rising above at 6 feet tall and scoring those kind of points.
But Skip, their careers, I mean, both guys have been traded 5 times.
Okay.
Russ does have the 4 seasons with the triple doubles. Yep. Skip, it's hard. I mean, when you really, there are pros to each guy. Whatever guy you like, you can list the pros. And a guy can come in and list the cons of why it should be the other guy. Yeah. This is not as easy as you might think. This is not like, who's a better point guard, Magic Johnson? Come on. This is close because neither guy has the ultimate prize, which is a championship. Because if one guy had a championship, Skip, it would easily swing the pendulum in that guy's favor. But because neither has it, now both have been to the finals once, both lost. One lost in 5, the other lost in 6.
Yep.
But Skip, you got the nickname the point guard.
Mm-hmm. He did. Mm-hmm. All right. The other guy's got the nickname Westbrook. Okay? He does. I don't know. It's just maybe it's against my basketball religion.
I tried,
just
Russ.
can't go.
Russ, I tried.
Okay,
I tried.
You tried, but it's just hard, man. And yet you can't take away Russ's achievements.
Yeah. Both 75th anniversary guys.
I know. But after last year, it was hard for me to see Russ as a top 75 player.
Right.
I don't know. I think you couldn't either after last year.
I mean, Skip, you look at it, Russ averages, for a career, he averages playing 34.3 minutes.
Yeah.
Chris Paul is 34.4 minutes.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, they're so similar.
We keep talking about KD versus Russ in this series coming up. Well, the ultimate matchup are these two point guards going at it. And trust me, Mr. Sharp, they will go at each other. This is going to get hot and heavy. It might get gray area. There's going to be words thrown back and forth. There might be an elbow here or there. Mm-hmm. It is going to be something to watch.
That'd be interesting. I wonder what Twitter would think. Who they think the best? I think it'll be close, Skip.
I think Russ would win.
You think so?
Just because he's so spectacular.
I think it's pretty close. I don't think it's somebody's getting. I think it might be 51-49, you know, something like that. I don't think it's going to be 60-40 one way or another.
No, I agree.
The Suns are doing a football-style prep week starting today, actually, for that upcoming series. I think it's going to be a fantastic showdown matchup.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, so many of them to talk about. Spencer Dinwiddie keeps responding to Kyle Kuzma. The drama here is just getting higher and higher. We're going to tell you what he said coming up next.